The Huemul Circuit is a lesser-known trek that circumnavigates Cerro Huemul in Patagonia near to the impressive Cerro Fitz Roy. The trek is far quieter than the nearby classic day hikes to Cerro Tor and Fitz Roy in the overcrowded Torres del Paine. It's a 70-kilometre trek that takes 3 or 4 days, and you'll need to be self-reliant, carrying all of your own gear. Most parties opt for a relatively flat and easy first day, trekking 15 kilometres from El Chalten to Laguna Toro. It's recommended to take the side trip to Loma del Plieg Tombado for special and alternative views of Tor and Fitz Roy. The temperature varies greatly during the day with the wind, so you'll be changing clothing layers often. Anything from t-shirt to thermal to Gore-Tex and down jacket. Looking to the head of the valley, another squall is coming. The campground at Laguna Toro has several sheltered campsites in the Lenga forest, further protected from the constant westerly wind by a rock buttress. The only people we met during the circuit was here, both parties making a day trip from camp up to Paso Viento to see the ice cap, an alternative to the circuit. Has to be 100 kilometres an hour. The first major obstacle is crossing Rio Tunel, just above Laguna Toro. You can wade knee-deep in the icy waters, however, the alternative is a highlight of the trek, a Tyrolean traverse above the turbulent waters crashing through a small canyon. The harness adds extra weight for the trip, but I think the excitement is worth that effort. Tyrolean goes across the little canyon section in the centre of the screen. The next highlight is the ice trek, a short crossing of the Bay Tunel glacier, safer than clambering along the loose moraine. There are crevasses, so be very careful after recent snowfall. Exit the glacier to a track just before the river creates a tunnel through the glacier. It's then a long trudge up to Paso Viento, the windy pass. Really lucky it's breathless here at Paso Viento. The views across the southern Patagonian ice cap are incredible. A massive expanse of ice filling the horizon, and the flow discernible by the rocky lines caused by rockfall between distant glacier tongues. It's an amazing sight. There are 2 camping options below the pass, Laguna Ferrari just to the north, or a refuge hut another 3 kilometres on. Vivek Ferrari at the far end of the lake. There are about 8 sheltered campsites here. Looking up there at Paso Viento. Oh, it's so nice here at Laguna Ferrari. We're going to stay. We've got a nice sheltered tent site there. Boiling water for our D-high meal.
It's going to be fantastic. We're having Mexican beef and vegetables on a bed of mashed potato.
After a typical Patagonian windy night, we continued the circuit and stopped for morning tea at the hut for shelter. The camping options here offer little shelter, but the haven of the small hut would be fantastic for a group dinner out of the wind. Good place to come in out of the wind and have dinner. The circuit then follows the bleak wind-blown lower slopes of Huemul alongside the ice stream. In the constant wind, you must force yourself to stop for a few short moments to drink and eat. During the whole circuit, we never rested for more than 5 minutes at a time. The wind was just too hostile. It was always a welcome respite to climb into the tent each evening. The trail eventually climbs up to Paso Huemul, offering a final spectacular view of the ice stream that had been our companion for the last few hours. It's so inhospitable, yet such stark beauty. There is a campsite a few minutes east of the pass. Just on the other side of Paso Huemul, our first greenery in a while. Just on the side of the track in the Lenga forest, I guess this is Vivek Huemul. Nice sheltered site. It's worth exploring a short side trip here to look down on the glacier, carving off huge ice blocks into the lake. We continued down the steep slope to camp on the narrow peninsula. The Lenga forest is very hardy. I'm glad I wasn't in the first several thousand people to make the trek. And at the bottom of the hill to Campamento de las Loches. Well, we've decided to camp on the peninsula right next to the beach, and we've got some icebergs to go and look at. Melissa has managed to capture 2 icebergs so far, and there's a 3rd big one on her hit list. Occasional glimpses of Cerro Huemul's summit. There's a maze of cow tracks here around Cabo de Hornos. The final day is a little disappointing in comparison to the previous days. Flat rolling hills and hundreds of cows that have left their mark. But there is the exciting return crossing of Rio Tunel by Tyrolean or wading before hiking back to El Chalten. The Huemul circuit is a quiet and rewarding trek, certainly worthwhile if you have a few extra days to spend in the Fitz Roy area.